Over the past decade, we've seen amazing advancements in LGBTQ rights. People that would have been ostracized just a few years ago are now celebrated by their communities. Right now, we are in the midst of a cultural revolution. Now, this doesn't mean that our country is all-inclusive and accepting to all walks of life. However, we are headed in a direction that will completely change our nation's history. Like most media-centered countries, we have seen the rise of LGBT-centered movies, TV shows, and books, along with the rise and visibility of this community. However, it has been proven time and time again that simply having a character who the writers identify as gay, lesbian, or transgender doesn't signify a positive evolution in LGBT education. In fact, sometimes the most well-meaning portrayals can be harmful to the perception of the LGBT community because they rely heavily on stereotypes to tell the story of their character. How many times have we seen a lesbian woman with a cropped haircut who wears vests and drives a pickup truck and hates men? Or a gay white man who loves fashion and musicals and has a voice high enough to shatter glass? Or a transgender woman with a deep voice and masculine facial features employed as a prostitute? When people are exposed to the same set of stereotypes over and over again, it becomes internalized. We expect television and movies and books to reflect reality to some extent, and when writers decide to label a character as gay or bisexual or transgender, they have a responsibility to portray more than just an identity. And sadly, most writers fall short in this respect. So to set the record straight, here are some real-life LGBTQ people to share their experiences.
Hi, I'm Sage. I am a pansexual transgender man.
Hi, my name is Sam and I'm lesbian.
I'm Jackie and I'm gay.
Hi, my name is Gabriella. I am a bisexual cisgender woman.
I think some depictions of my identities are accurate in the media, but many aren't. Some that are acknowledge that a lot of transgender people are people of color or can be both transgender men and transgender women. Also that there are non-binary transgender people. But the vast majority of media does not really acknowledge those things.
A lot of the media representations, especially with gay and lesbian, is very bipolar, and like typically lesbian characters are very like short hair, like more masculine, and I don't think that's accurate.
I think the media representation of gay people, or gay females in this case, is getting more accurate over the years because we have TV shows like The Fosters, not all like manly, masculine lesbians with axes, lumberjacks.
I feel that there is some inaccuracy as to what percentage of the population is actually bisexual versus straight. That I see a lot in TV shows. And there's the very obvious stereotyping of women in media, which I also see a lot.
One really good way that people could represent and depict us better is one, casting trans people to play trans people in movies and television shows. One really good example of that was Laverne Cox. She, in Orange is the New Black, plays a transgender woman and is a transgender woman, and that's really cool. Also with pansexuality, a really good way is, although some people choose not to have a label, many people do, and it'd be good to actually define it and not just leave it up to interpretation.
I think the media can do a better job by giving more variety to instead of typecasting characters to meet a stereotype, a more variety and diversity in types of characters, because it doesn't have anything to do with the type of person you are. I am tired of seeing the motorcycle riding, ripped jean, flannel jacket lesbian, because that's the only stereotype that they really portray, and it's, yeah.
I think the media can do a better job representing LGBT plus people by trying not to have characters conform to the stereotypes. like gay men being super feminine and loving drama, or, you know, lesbians being super masculine, or lesbians are sexualized in general, so, you know, not sexy, like, lesbians, you know?
The media can definitely do a better job representing bisexual people and just including them more often in shows, and when they do include them, not make that the only part of their personality. The stereotype that I see most often in movies that I'm so tired of is that everyone is straight, because that's blatantly not true.
Some of the worst depictions of LGBT people are, especially with transgender people, is when they are played by not trans people. That's a big controversy. But there were some good depictions that were played by cisgender people, so it really depends. One really bad depiction would probably be
I think a lot of older movies and characters definitely did worse, and I think lately it's gotten better and there is more variety. But yeah.
if you have a question about something, don't be afraid to ask, as long as you're asking nicely. Also, do research, because if you do have a question that's not necessarily the most appropriate, like, Google is there for a reason. Also, just make sure to kind of figure out the lingo, the vocabulary, because that can be very helpful when talking to someone in the LGBT community. So, yeah.
There's no connection between personality and what you like and dislike and how you dress and all of that and sexual orientation. There's no connection. It's totally separate. So just to not put people in these boxes of what they think lesbian or gay or transgender or whatever is.
Not all gay men are super feminine, and, you know, not all lesbians are super masculine, and the way you dress does not determine your sexual identity, you know, or even gender identity. It's super hard being a person of color and LGBT because, you know, we're already oppressed and by our race, and just to add gay or lesbian or trans on top of that just makes it worse.
Bisexuality isn't just one thing. It's not like you're attracted to everybody. It's you are attracted to men and women on occasion. Sometimes I have weeks where I am more attracted to women than men. Sometimes I have weeks where I'm more attracted to men than women. It's fluid, just like the rest of sexuality.
In conclusion, LGBT people are everywhere, and they're not just one shape or size or color, and they're not just of one gender expression or identity or sexuality. They're all around us, and they're just as normal as anybody else, and they have just as many individual experiences as you do. So, next time you see a lesbian and your first thought is butch, plaid-wearing, masculine girl, or you see a transgender woman and your first thought is a guy who likes to wear makeup and dresses, try to reevaluate those thoughts in your head and see what they actually are rather than applying your preconceived notions to their identity. Thank you.